Hey guys, welcome to a multi-purpose, fun, relaxing, yet productive vlog is what I'm hoping this is going to be. I have 3 things that I would like to get done / work on today, and then tonight we are going to a local board game store that friends of ours own, and we're going to be gaming, so that'll be fun. I don't think it'll take you along for that, but here's what I want to get done today. First of all, I am reading and almost done The Rule of 3. This is one of the books that ended up on my TBR and is the book that I'm reading for the January Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. January was to read a book that started with the or a. And so I have like 180 so pages left. There's a cat trying to get in my door. I think I'll let him in. I thought maybe he would want to come say hi, but apparently he's like in fight attack mode. So there he is. That's my hand, kitty. Okay, so I want to finish The Rule of 3. This weekend I am doing a page count reading challenge over on my Patreon. I generally do that once a month, sometimes more. But I thought I had a fairly relaxing weekend coming up here, so I thought I'd give it a try. So my goal is to read this book and then one more. I set my page count to 500 pages, which should be good to finish this and then read another one. I have 2 more science fiction books on my TBR, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna read one of those next or something different. I don't know if I can read 3 science fiction books in a row. Usually I like to go between genres. Now he's gonna sit here all nicely. Right, Tolkien? Okay, so goal 1 today, finish this book. Goal 2 is to write some poems. I started this morning. I wrote one. I don't think it was very good, but I wrote it. My goal for this year is to write 200 poems. Do you know how many I've written so far? 1. The start of the year was a little rough. Our foster kids came for the weekend, which ended up being 10 days, and I've noticed I really need quiet to write poetry, and when you add a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old into your house, there's a lot less quiet than there is normally. So I'm very behind on that goal already, but that's okay. So I want to work on that today. I might use the practice of poetry. It's got like writing exercises in here. This morning I just wrote a poem kind of based what I saw in front of me with a candle and the sunrise, things like that. And I do kind of want, well, one of my goals for the year is to self-publish a poetry book, and I need to figure out sometime this year what kind of poems that's going to include. I find I generally tend to write 3 different kinds of poems, and I am okay with continuing to explore all 3 of those poetry styles / like topics or whatever, but at some point I'm gonna have to figure out like, okay, if I'm gonna actually publish a book, I need to focus on that one type so that I have enough poems for a book. So I'm gonna do that. Those 2 things are my 2 of my goals for the day, and then my other one is to start, because I don't think I'll finish this, the cat's hitting the tripod, start working on my new TBR game cards. What are you doing? Oh, there's a ball by my pants. I thought you were trying to eat my pants. So I'm gonna make a TBR game. I bought some cards. Do I remember where I put them though? I'll see if I can find them. Oh, I didn't mention, I got a haircut yesterday. It ended up being a little shorter than I was expecting, but it's okay. I haven't got a haircut in, well, I've cut my own hair for the last few years because laziness. I just didn't care to book an appointment. But even that, I haven't cut it for a year. So it's been a while. It feels good. It feels fresh. It feels healthy. Anyway, cards. I bought from Dollar Tree. They were a deck of red and a deck of blue for $1.50 Canadian because Dollar Tree is no longer $1. And then I bought 3 of those. So I have 6 decks of cards here because I don't think I'm going to use them all now. But where'd you put your ball? Cats are distracting. I think I'm going to be adding prompts and stuff as I go, so I wanted to have lots of card options. The 2 colors of decks I might run into troubles with that. I'll figure that out when I'm working on that later. Okay, so that gives you an idea of where the day's gonna go. I'm either gonna go write some poetry now or read, kind of alternate between the two of those for the most part. And then I think I'm gonna be working on these this afternoon. This was originally a countdown to the new year, 2023. It's slowly been evolving, and I'm gonna rearrange and see if I can get it to say something else. I might add a letter or two. We'll see what we can find. It doesn't make any sense, but I made something. I had a very productive morning. I got the Rule of 3 finished. So I think I started this, I had about 150 pages left. And so that's a pretty good start to my page count reading challenge. A good portion of my 500 pages I want to read this weekend. To get that 140 pages in Friday morning is great. I don't know where I'm going to go from here. So I'm thinking either Ender's Game, or there's Sanderson's first novel of the year, his first secret project, came out January 1st, and Jared has already read it. He really wants to know my thoughts. He doesn't know if I'm gonna like it, and I'm curious, so I could do that. So it's either like science fiction or fantasy. There's a ton of other books options as well. I am joining in on like this Christian booktuber book club again. I took a break for a while because life was just a little crazy, but they are reading an Amanda Dykes book. I think it's Set the Stars Alight. So I also have that. I've got options. So I'm not going to read quite next. I think whichever book I read, I'm going to do as a spoilery vlog for my Windy Tears Patreon. It's not necessarily spoilery. I'm just going to be sharing some of my thoughts throughout, and I'll maybe give disclaimers if I am going to give spoilers. But I'm not going to do that next. Next, I'm going to write some poetry. I did get a few poetry books out from the library, and I think I'm going to read a few of these. I haven't actually really read any of these yet, and then pick a few poems to maybe try to like emulate in some way as writing practice. So I got this one. Some of these were recommendations. Some of them I just went onto my library site and like requested poetry books. This one is Billy Collins' Whale Day. Okay, I don't know anything about this. I've got Nikita Gill, Where Hope Comes From. This one sounds cool because the subtitle is covered up by a library sticker. Poems of Resilience, Healing, and Light. I do like the sounds of that. So the title of this one sounds optimistic. How to Love the World, Poems of Gratitude and Hope. I know I've gotten this out from the library before. I don't know if I've read it. It's a collection of different like poems from different poets. So there'll be quite a variety in here. Light filters in poems. Okay, and then I've got Fire Crowns and Fearsome Things. I did start both of these at the library when I got them out because I was waiting for my book club to start and I was a little early. And one of these was good and one wasn't. And I don't remember. One of them I read a few poems and I was like, yeah, no, not reading this. Oh wait, maybe not. Okay, no, I mostly read from this one, Light Filters in Poems by Carolyn Kaufman. These poems, they have definitely trigger warnings for like abuse and all sorts of different things. But I feel like she approaches her poetry in a really good way from the few that I read quite a few. Some of them were better than others. And I liked certain aspects of her poetry. It's not really, I wouldn't buy this poetry collection and I wouldn't really recommend it necessarily, but I liked some of them. Okay, then this one, I guess I didn't read this one. There was another one that I started that I gave back to the library right away. This one's kind of cool because it's got illustrations as well. So if you just like flip through the book, it looks pretty cool. Wait, are those the same pictures? Oh, they're just the same pictures over and over again? Oh, okay, well, interesting. Okay, I don't know, I'll look at that one, yeah. And then I've got 2 books by Jane Kenyon, New and Selected Poems. This one's Otherwise, and Collected Poems. No idea. So I'm gonna read through some of these, write some poems kind of inspired by them. I guess I never shared what this book is actually about. It's pretty much if all things that are run by computers, cars, electricity, all that, went out. And our main character, he's 16, his name is Adam. He has an old car, so his car doesn't go out. And it's kind of about, it's got that post-apocalyptic thing going on, and it's about their community coming together. And I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to finishing the series. I don't own it, so I'll get it eventually. But I definitely enjoyed it. Probably like a 4-star book. Okay, there's gonna be background noise because Ephraim has 4 friends over, so there's a lot of preteen boys in my house right now. I just printed off 6 pages of 9 bookish prompts that I'm gonna be using for my TBR cards. So that equals 54 prompts. This is just for the actual book selection. There's also going to be bookish activity cards as well. I haven't done those yet. Plus there's going to be specific books that my patrons have recommended for me. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do those ones yet. Maybe I'll do those ones in a different color and not put them in the regular deck. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Yeah, so I'm going to cut these out. I think I made them the right size. Although now that I see it printed, the printer definitely scaled it down. I guess that does make sense. It tried to make it fit. Whatever, these don't have to be professional. They're just for fun. I already just printed them on regular paper, so I think you're gonna be able to see the card behind it anyway, so I'm like slightly OCD on this kind of stuff. Is it gonna bother me terribly that you can see it through there? No, I'm gonna get over that. So, I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut these out and start gluing them next, or if I'm gonna go ahead and print out all the activities. The activities are so fun. Some of them are so mean, and I got suggestions from my patrons. I told them they could be as mean as they wanted. Some of them followed through. It's okay, it's good. It will be interesting, but some of them are like fun and good. I think the mean ones will be fun for you guys to watch, just not maybe so fun for me to do. Yeah, there's lots of activities. I'm gonna print those out, get those formatted, and then print those out. And then I'm gonna have like a cutting and gluing extravaganza. But I also need to make supper, and so I'm not sure how much of this I'll get done today, but I already feel good having these printed and ready to go. My TBR for February is gonna be so fun to pick. Oh, also I did spend some time writing a bit of poetry. I used one of the poems from one of the books that I got as inspiration. It was, what was it? Reasons to Live. There was more to that title, but I just titled my poem Reasons to Live. And I started working on it, and then I wrote like the smell of freshly baked bread, and then I remembered that we were making bread for supper, so I had to get on that. So life gets distracting, but I will work harder at my goal of writing 200 poems for the year because I'm quite behind, but it's okay. I think I'll at least be able to get kind of caught up to where I am fairly easily. And then I currently have a poll going on Instagram for my next read, and then I'll see what they pick. I was gonna check here probably in the next 20 minutes, and whatever book is currently winning, that's the one I'm gonna read next. So, and then that's the one I'm gonna do a poll, do a vlog for Patreon on. So lots of things to do, not a whole lot of time before our board game night, but it's all fun stuff. You stole my spot. You don't care. Do you hear that sound? That is the sound of 0 preteen boys in my house. Love them all. But man, it was loud there for a bit. They were playing Gang Beasts, which is a fun, and I totally get it, really loud game where you try to throw people, well, you're kind of like creatures, off of a building or things and be the last one standing. A lot of fun. A lot of noise. So, my house is quiet. I got a bit of the cards done. I'm very thankful I decided to start them now instead of the end of the month when I'm ready to form my TBR, because it's gonna take me a while. There's like more than one deck worth just from the book prompts themselves, never mind all the activities. So there's gonna be a lot of cards to choose from, which is gonna be fun, but I need to figure out which book I'm reading next. I will probably only have time to read a bit after we get home tonight, so I'm not sure that will get into this vlog at all, but I wanted to share which book is going to be the winner of the poll here. So I gave 4 options: Ender's Game, which is science fiction; Tress of the Emerald Sea, which is Sanderson's newest book that I want to read; Set the Stars Alight, that's the historical fiction that I'm reading with the Christian book club; and then Stellar Loon is book 9 of Keeper of the Lost Cities. Here's my poll, and we will find out together which one wins. Set the Stars Alight won. That one had 52% of the votes. It's actually, Ender's Game and Tress of the Emerald Sea were pretty close. They had 20 and 23. Stellar Loon was at 5%. So that is what I'll be reading next. I think that will be good. I need a little bit of a palate cleanser maybe after reading quite a bit of science fiction so far this month. So that'll be something different, and then I can jump into my science fiction after that one. And so that's the one I'm going to be reading and then doing a vlog for my Windy Poplars tier on Patreon. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I enjoyed this vlog. I'm so glad my house is quiet right now. You enjoy the quiet moments after it's been loud. I would love to hear like what you've been reading lately. Anything good? Let's talk about books in the comments.